Thank you for joining us on the celebration of International Mother Language Day, which officially was Monday the 21st, but we decided to do an event today, because Wednesdays are usually better days for events at Bangor. So that's why, but the whole week is kind of dedicated to that, so it's not necessarily only on the Monday. The day was introduced by the UN, by UNESCO, which is a United Nations body, in the 90s to kind of give some focus to the fact that linguistic variety is a good thing in the world, and like most good things, is not very much appreciated in most places. So thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the event. And over to Helena to say a few words.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure, such a good thing to see so many of you. I'd like to thank Marco, first of all, for bringing this day to my attention, because I wasn't even aware that this event had already was signalled. So I'm very grateful to him for raising this, and very grateful to you all, to the students, to the staff that have come together in preparing this event. I think it's a very significant event for people that hear more languages and linguistics. There's a good sort of critical mass here of people who not only speak more languages than they usually care to admit, but also people who are very much aware of the struggle and the sort of political issues behind language use across the world. So thank you all for coming together in today's celebration of this. Thank you very much.
An important role that minority languages can play in an ever more integrated European Union is to remind us that roles are not fixed, are not set in stone, identities are fluid, and exactly by calling our attention to otherness, to difference and diversity, minority languages are a vital part of European cultures. De prinselijke draden. Wat magnifiek, dit op de strek. Vrijdig de lui, je vrijdig kreeg. Aan de muziek van zoute harmoniekjes, de meerheid opgekomen, het Zuid brak me goed, we gaan me nu voorkomen. Voor een enkele moment wilde ik naar tempelen spreken. Toen wordt het masker voor mijn gezicht afgeheten. Daar stond, dan is de nieuwe prins van de stad. Neben mich mijn kinderen en mijn lieve schat. Ik zag nog dat ik mijn laatste druppel bloed zou geven. Toen schrik ik wakker, uit de schoonste droom van mijn leven. Meest dromen ervan als het schoon is, en dat is mijn geven. Wie magnifiek moet het dan zien, een keer echt de stadsprins te zien. Yeah, that's the nickname of this homeless man insulted and discriminated in Catalan. The poem ends on a grotesque note on the very insolent statement made by this homeless man. So dear people, here I am, I don't care what you think. What assessment, what judgment do you give? Ed ecco va Bruno, una volta che parlo, picchio in tonnerello i capi uscirà, con va su una lumina caro, pecore e capi ti dico tira, e non Bruno viene chiamato, un salutavano i giudici, radiando un toccato, tutti i cani ci rattiano a coda, per Dio pace, peccato, mosuda, ogni tanto, scendendo dai scali, quelli che vanno alla casa mia, vidi a guaglioni cupali in tre mani, a secutare a Bruno, che male non faceva. Samura e guaglioni, cupali in tre mani, ci gli ha retto sputendo chi sono, o sputava con sdegno, con tanta schifezza, tahaccia gridando, che bellezza! No, se guaglioni si docaro, ci messo tempo più idica Bruno, molto rispetto non so che bravo, che male non fa. non vita nessuno.
Agenta tu chiama ye, e tu risponda mamma ye, dopo casato, si senta speduto, e fui lontano per nome e veduto.
Macari sa muce co frido da nota, fra chiesa cu santum, ma un po' proteggira, uvite eu rosa alla vadotta, ali bellido santum.
So, Catalan is an official language in where it is spoken, which is Catalonia, the Balearic Islands, and the Valencian country in Spain. Is one of the best models of minority language protection, as the Council of Europe and the UNESCO say. You will listen today to very different dialects. I am from Mallorca, so it's, I would say, the oldest dialect because it hasn't received so much pressure from another language, and then Ruben, who is from Girona, and then he will start. We are going a bit backwards to the year 1875. That, in kind of European context, some minority or languages that were at the time oppressed had a renaissance. So this period in Catalan is called the Renaixença, and it was a moment where Catalan started to be a language of high culture at that moment, thanks to the presence of some kind of local classes that were wealthy and were able to produce culture in Catalan. And that was the base as well of the normativization normativization, not normalization, of the language. So the poem is called L'Opi de Formentor. Formentor is a place that maybe some of you have visited for holidays nowadays, but it's a very nice area as well in Mallorca. And then it talks about a tree that is very attached to the land. Mon cor estima un arbre, més vell que l'olivera, més poderós que el roure, més verd que el taronger. Conserva de ses fulles l'eterna primavera i lluiten les ventades que tupen la ribera, que cruixen lo terrer. No guaita per ses fulles la flor enamorada, no va la fontanella sa sombra sa besar, més deu ungir d'aroma sa testa consagrada i li donar per terra l'esquerpa serralada, per font l'immensa mà. Quan lluny, damunt les ones, renaix la llum divina, no canta per ses branques l'ocell que encativam, lo crit sublim escolta de l'àguila marina, o del voltor que puja sent l'àguila gegantina remoure son fullam.
Matthew has kindly agreed to read out a popular poem in Welsh by the poet and former archdruid known by his bardic name, Cynan. Of all the poets I could have chosen, I've picked Cynan for many reasons. He has a connection with his university. He's buried nearby. He was a key figure in 20th century Welsh life, being an archdruid twice. He's also responsible for some of the most memorised and quoted poems. Abertaron by Cynan. Pan fwy fy hen a pharchus ac arian yn fy nghod, a phob beirniadaeth drosod a phawb yn canu'n fod. Mi bryna bwthyn unig heb ddim o flaen i ddor, ond creigiau Aberdaron a thonau gwyllt môr. Pan fwy fy'n hen a pharchus, am gwaed yn llifo'n oer, am calon heb gyflymyd wrth wyliau codi'r lloer, bydd gobaith ein bryd hynny, mewn bwthyn sydd a'i ddor, at greigiau Aberdaron a thonau gwyllt môr.
So this is the talk from Lombard. It's spoken mainly in Italy and parts of Switzerland. Two areas I'm not going to attempt to pronounce because earlier I'm screwing them up. Thank you. Now there are 3 million speakers of Lombard, mostly obviously in Italy, or around 200,000 in Swiss Lombardy. However, it has no official recognition as a language, which is quite sad. But in saying this also, these two things maybe contribute to the fact that Lombardy is done as one of the UNESCO's languages in danger. And of the 3 million people who speak Lombard, a lot of them are of the older generation. Yes. Lombard is a Romance language and is therefore closely linked to French and languages like Catalan and so on and so forth.
The writer is giving advice to other writers, trying to say, you know, this is how you should use our language. You shouldn't use it to talk about frivolous things, about important stuff. And for example, in one passage, the writer says, use the language against vice and never against people. And may your needles be for mending, not for pricking. But it's also about the language. There is a specific, so it's very relevant to today, a specific passage which says it's a language that seems to have been made specifically to tell the truth. So it's also about obviously praising the language, which is very relevant to today. Tothom, bon de cervell e mei de cœur, chi più geni e spirit per la reputazione del vostro linguaggio. Vi ringrazio da parte desta città, sceta e amanta di sé, come la da cugnos, con la sua livrea di bianco e rosso. Fevanem e arregata del Tuscan e del Latin, fe splendi eleganza di Meneghen. A gloria e a ben di sen, fe care sono il minga e la sosen. Druela contra il visi, no mai contro i persone, come se di, lu del cielo, lu degli uomini, chi intanto cara il cielo. Da mendà, no da spons, sini vos gucci, gran retorica stim, di ben de tucci. È una lingua curenta, aperta e chiara, che apposta la parfà per dire la verità. Gussa, chi sa druala, partucado ed e sgria fuori al cœur, ma il suo don principale è la felicità de fa capire i più sublimi concetti, dai gran filosofoni fino in bruetti.
Stolwg le Cavalasca arentomia, al país di Chigol ed Estacom, le onlug de gran bon gust, de gran alegria, le dendent vist da ogni galantom, no che nessun che capita a vedel, con mi tre bot, i do nol diga, o bel, che montan, che collin, e che pianur, se veter e palaz, e in conclusion, tut quel che può fallar è la natura, lei la regina di situazione, da patut aguarda dove sever, godi una vista che beslaga el cœur.